just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be wait, nope, not today. Ahoy, mates!
Hello, happy travelers!
Welcome back on board the Norwegian Joy, day number 12, our final day. It was a long one, but our final day
of our longest voyage ever.
We are here, though, at the private island of a Norwegian cruise line, Great Stirrup Cay. And I have to keep emphasizing that because I want to say K because, well, what's going on next door?
Just do the motion and that'll help you remember. Great Stirrup Cay. Like you're turning a key.
Let's go ahead and get it started. Day number 12, our final day on board the Norwegian Joy and over at Great Stirrup Cay begins right now.
And as you can see, because it's leaving, Great Stirrup Cay is a tender port. You must take a tender in order to get to and from the island. Now, because we're staying in a suite, we have priority tender access, as well as like some of the higher levels of Norwegian's latitude points people. You don't have to reserve a tender boat ticket. You can just go whenever you want. Now, if you are not one of those people, it works pretty much similar as when we were in Grand Cayman, where you have to reserve a tender ticket if you're getting off in the morning, and you do that via the television. You can just go through and it gives you the instructions to how to reserve a tender ticket, but that is only if you're going to be getting off the ship before 11 o'clock. So we got here, the first tender boat went out at about 8:30 this morning. So if you're going out between 8:30 and 11, you want to reserve a ticket. But if you know that you're going to be getting off later, like how we are right now, you don't need to reserve a ticket. Now, Mr. Matthew was a super hard worker this morning, got up, crack of dawn to get on a tender boat so he could provide you with a full tour of Great Stirrup Cay in all of its private island glory. Now, since you were up this morning for the tendering process, what was that like this morning?
It was pretty interesting. I went down to the social club, comedy club, which is where you're supposed to go for the priority, and they asked me if it was just me, and I said yeah, and they said, well, just go down to like the regular area where they're doing it. And I said okay. So then they took me, and they were loading the tender boat right when I scanned out, and so I took a seat, and then I sat there for about 20 minutes, a little over 20 minutes, waiting. They wait for every seat to get filled on the tender boat. Even though they were running 2 in and out at a time, they wait until it's completely filled and then send you over. And the other thing is, they don't go very fast. They're pretty slow.
Pardon you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They're very slow, especially once you get over into the channel, they go really slow, which makes sense. Creeping up to the dock, and then you have to disembark. So the whole process was like about 30 minutes of loading, waiting, going over, and getting off. So it took quite a while. Even coming back, even though there was hardly anyone on the tender boat with me, it still took a long time. They left pretty quickly, but then we had to sit out there and wait for these tender boats to get out of the way so we could pull up beside the ship and disembark. So it's not a convoluted process, it's a simple process. It's just kind of a drag of a process. It's not overly efficient, but I don't really know how they could improve it other than taking a page out of next door's book and building up here.
Womp, womp, womp. Look at all those people over there just walking over to their island like there's something special. Another one just pulled in and we were looking at this. Are those solar panels on top operating the boat? If so, that's very cool and very progressive, and I appreciate that. The morning process may have been a little bit convoluted, but we're going to see what it's like right now. It's about, what time, like 1:30?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, we're going to see what it's like to tender and get over there and get ourselves on this private island. Let's go.
We have to wait for the current tender boat to disembark first, so we're all just hanging out here in the hallway area until we can board.
Tender time, tender time. It's time to tender, so it's tender time. Okay, so we were waiting for our tender for like about 20 minutes. We had to wait for the whole huge boat to unload before we could get on and load. So it kind of took a while, but we're on the tender now. I think this may be the biggest tender boat we've ever been on. There are a ton of seats and there's a downstairs. So I see why it took so long to get everybody off of it. Great Stirrup Cay. Now we are going to run down there and hopefully make the food before it closes. Whoa, I slipped on a banana peel.
Oh man, when I came over to film the tour earlier, they had a blue crab like character mascot out taking pictures of people, but gone for the day in the shell.
I'll be one for you guys.
We are gonna head over to Abaco Taco and see if it's still open for lunch. Looks like they closed. I don't know, I feel like the time was technically 2 and it's like 1:45.
No tacos.
Interesting.
Okay, let's run to the other place.
Yeah, we gotta go over to the main grill area. All right, Jumbie Beach Grill it is. It looks like this is still open.
All right.
We're gonna head in.
As long as I can get grilled, I'm good.
Well, it's a pretty typical island buffet fare. Fruit, hot dogs, burgers, rice and beans, corn.
Yeah.
But they did throw some pizza in, which is interesting. Jerk chicken, ribs, and some desserts. These are brownies and Rice Krispie treats.
Nice.
Basically.
I'm just happy we made some food happen. We got it in right at the buzzer. So this spot closes at 2 and
Yeah.
either the taqueria was supposed to close at 2 or it closed a little earlier, maybe like 1:30 or something, and we just missed it.
We wanted to show you a little iguana, but then it ran away. But can I interest you in an adventure 65 million years in the making? That's a baby gator. That's not an iguana. On the hunt. They're everywhere. We're being hunted. Okay, I'm gonna count to 3. 1, 2.
3.
We can't get Jurassic Park back online without Dennis Nedry.
Oh, something to point out as we're walking through. They have beach accessible strollers. And I've already seen some beach accessible wheelchairs as well. So if you need those, those are available. First come, first serve.
Free.
Free. Whose head is this?
May be indicative of what we can see out in the water. I read on the map that there's an underwater snorkel garden out here in this first Cove Lagoon area. Let's see if we can spot anything, but watch those urchins. Well, it was obviously by no means the best snorkeling we've ever done, but it was still pretty good. I did want to point out that most of the statues we saw are way out there. Like, see the yellow barrels way off on the horizon? You want to swim way out there to see a lot of the good stuff. There's also a lot of fish to see out there.
Also, too, they didn't make you wear a life vest.
Oh, that was
to
nice.
Snorkel. There was a lifeguard that was like patrolling the area in a kayak and stuff. But yeah, you didn't have to wear a vest to snorkel. So
Thank you, Norwegian. Thank you. Those inflatable life vests are for the birds.
maybe they have this head here because out on that beach, that's where you see all like the figure things in the water.
Yes.
Is that it?
I think so. That's what I said earlier, so.
Oh! I didn't hear you. This is cool. So Great Stirrup Cay has a big lighthouse, and you can see the little cords going through because that's where they do the zip line excursion if you chose to do that. But what I find more interesting is that it has the Norwegian signature paintings, like how they do on the hull of the ships. And look, this one is painted by Guy Harvey. Pretty cool and pretty beautiful. You know something interesting about this island? There is not a lot of signage, and there's like no maps.
Yeah,
like,
when I was doing the tour, I looked for the map because I like to use them. Couldn't find any. But they do have some signs. And you know what it is? They have little banner flags they put out too. You'll see them in the tour video. They don't have as many out right now. They must have put them away. Oh, big iguanas are enjoying the putting green.
Oh, I see.
So we got, there's a big iguana. There's a big iguana. There's a big iguana. And there's a big iguana.
Well, that's island life. You work on your short game. Even the iguanas.
They even put the flags away that marked the holes. They had those out on the green earlier. Shut it down. So if you walk all the way down the path or the beach at the end of the zip line run here, you'll find this beach and cove area, which does not get as crowded. Of course, no one's here right now because we're all about to leave. But even when I came out here earlier, hardly anyone was down here. And I read that online as well, which is pretty typical that most people go for the first cove or first beach area right when you get off the tender. But if you're willing to make the walk down here, you can actually have a nicer, calmer spot. And then right over there is the Silver Cove area, which is like where you have to pay extra to get into. But this isn't too bad. And it looks like some clear water, and might see some stuff around those rocks out there if you were snorkeling. So maybe worth checking out. Maybe we'll do that next time.
Currently 4:30, and the last tender boat is allegedly at 5 o'clock. So we are hopping on board to get back on the big ship. Today, looking at Great Stirrup Cay and perfect day at Coco Cay. Now that our time on the island has concluded, I think our final thoughts, at least my final thoughts on the island, is that the island's not bad. Not a lot of, razzle dazzle to it like its neighbor or anything like that, but I enjoyed swimming today. Lunch wasn't bad. Pretty basic, but not bad. I would say the thing I like least about Great Stirrup Cay is the tendering.
Yeah, for example, just coming back right now, 45 minutes from the time that we got to the tender boat, which had been sitting there for a while before we got there, to getting on board. 45 minutes.
And you guys know how I feel about tendering. I don't mind it. I like a free boat ride, but it definitely straps you on time a little bit. So just keep that in mind when you're planning your day at the private island, is that you might need around an hour to get there and around an hour to get back, which is not very ideal, especially since one of the main purposes of a main island is that it's supposed to be a simple port. But I still had a fun day today though.
Yeah.
You know what this means? Boo, luggage tags. Get out of here. You too. No, we won't have that attitude. All good things must come to an end. But since we have never sailed with Norwegian before, I thought I would let you know how the disembarkation process is going to work and show you the paperwork. It basically works exactly the same as we've seen on Royal or any other cruise line. You can either do the self-assist option where you take the luggage off the ship yourself, and that can start as early as 7 a.m. You'd be one of the first people to get off the ship. But if you want help getting your luggage off the ship, you just follow whatever color your tag is that was dropped off in your stateroom. You check and you follow the time that was given. But we are going to be using the self-assist, so we'll be taking our bags off ourselves. But just to give you an idea of the timetable and which one of these may apply to you. Now, if you are going to use the assistance with your luggage, you do have to put your luggage outside your stateroom by 12 midnight, the night before you're about to get off. And of course, they are going to have breakfast available in the morning before you disembark the ship, if you so choose to partake.
All right, friends, that's going to do it for us. Day number 12 on board the Norwegian Joy, and for our entire cruise, as we've been saying, this is the last day, so we are done, but we had a fabulous time. We'll be back on Norwegian very soon.
Very shortly. You have not seen the end of Norwegian, nor have we. And I'm happy about it because I very much enjoyed our first Norwegian sailing.
Our second Norwegian sailing is very soon in an exotic destination.
You're gonna want to see it.
So stay tuned for all of that action. If you missed any of the other day's videos, the ship tour, the room tour, the sandals tour, Sandals Royal Curaçao, all of that will be on the channel. Of course, the Norwegian Joy playlist, and I think we have a sandals playlist. All of those things.
It's going to be a long playlist.
Lots of fun stuff to be had. So thanks for sticking with us the whole way. We hope you enjoyed it, had some fun. We know we certainly did. But it is on to the next one. So we are signing off for tonight and signing off from this cruise on board the Norwegian Joy. Until next time, good night and happy travel!
Is it a thing to call Norwegian Norwegie, or did I coin that term?
That was definitely you.
Yes, Norwegie for the win!
Sweet!